So in the healing process, I'm getting to a point, I promise. I tried to be intentional with my parenting, but I can feel the difference now. Like, I'm much more intentional with Sugar.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been.
And rising, how are you? Sugar Bear is over here, tucked underneath me. As long as I stay here, he'll sleep. If I get up out of this bed, he's waking up. I was reading some of the comments you guys love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I really do. I'm excited to share Sugar Bear's first year, his first Christmas, and all those things. So we're going to make it happen. And hopefully one day he'll get to enjoy these videos too. I'm sitting here watching Live Abuse Free. She's a YouTuber. She's either a psychologist or psychiatrist. I'm not sure. She does with the heady stuff. And she had done another video about a narcissist mom. And now she's talking to the kids, to the children. A lot of it hits home. A lot of you guys know I'm on a healing journey. I'm not going to classify anybody in my life as, any name or type, or because I just don't have the degree, and I feel like some of it has been thrown around, right or wrong, since the pandemic, as we started to kind of evaluate our own mental wellness. It's hitting home with me as both a parent and a child. And I will say, because my children are 29 years apart, I have the benefit of time, right? So I think a lot of us, when we have children, I'll just speak for me because I don't know. I ain't done a survey on a lot of us. But for me, I remember having my first child. I was 23. Brain is not fully developed till we're 25, right? And I had a clear vision on how I wanted to raise her, but mostly from the things that I did not like from my childhood. Not that I was judging any of the people who participated in my raising. Yes. Can we help you? Okay. I'm trying to be a good mom to you too. I have to tell you guys, the other day, Sugar Bear I can't remember, one of the dogs grabbed their hair. And I was like, because he just grabs, it wasn't malicious. I was pulling his hand away. And I was like, let's be nice to liberty and justice. They kept mommy company while we waited for you. And then I just burst out into tears. They did. They loved me and they kept me company while I waited for him. Well, we all waited for him. Although, to be fair, they didn't know they were waiting. They are sometimes, Liberty. Well, I shouldn't say that. In the beginning, she was like, when is he going back? But now they're going to be buddies, I can tell. So Cheyenne and I are kind of, I don't want to say we're having a struggle. We're growing through something. And she hasn't been around. She said she needed a hiatus. She still loves me. And I was thinking like maybe I was one of those narcissistic moms who kind of drove my child away. And I want to tell her, like, it's okay if you need to take care of yourself. And if that means staying away from me, that's fine. It's a painful thing to say, but I'm realizing now as I'm watching this Live Abuse Free woman, like there's a thing like I can't even remember all the quotes. I'll link it in the description box below, but basically like it's epigenetics, right? Like meaning what you do impacts how your child's genes express themselves. And if children don't get enough hugs, it impacts their DNA, like through epigenetics. And so they don't thrive as well. There was a study done in an orphanage. If you're like, how did they know this? And they conducted an observatory study on children in orphanages. And I say observatory, they didn't intentionally not hug them. There were people, who went in and observed and took notes of how and tracked these children into adulthood. So I say all that to say I was definitely in the very early stages of my healing when I had Cheyenne. I tried to be intentional with my parenting, but I can feel the difference now. Like, I'm much more intentional with Sugar. Probably because I waited so long for him and I had to do plans. So if you are in the wait, I just encourage you to do research on child development, brain development, physical development, prepping them for their milestones, just so they can live their best life. Set them up for success, be intentional from the exercises you do, to the way you talk to them, to the words you speak to them, to the way you communicate, right? Because communication is more than just the words, but it's everything, like facial expressions, body language, all of that stuff. Be intentional. I obviously am not perfect, but I can see, I'm not going to say mistakes because I want to give myself grace, but I can see the ways in which I had opportunities for improvement with raising Cheyenne. And I can't go back and change it, but I can, if she allows me, reestablish where we are now. Because the thing about when children are little, when we are little, or humans, when we're little, even not humans, when all beings are little, mammals, oh my God, I'm overthinking it now. We need our parents, so we have to believe in them. We have to love them. You guys know I love the true crime genre, and I'm always amazed at how no matter what parents have done to their children, the children still love the parents. But it is built in biologically, because your goal is to get your parents to love you so that they will take care of you. And your goal is to trust your parents. If you don't trust your parents, you're dead in the water, irrespective of what they're actually doing. So you don't get to sort that out until 18 or so. And those of us who are fortunate survive that. Some people don't make it. And so if our children are estranged from us at their choice, I think we just have to accept that. They don't owe us anything. They did not ask to be born, right? We summons them into our lives. I do like to feel that my children chose me, and Cheyenne agrees that she feels like she chose me. So it's not something crazy I'm just making up. But yeah, I definitely feel like Sugar chose me, and I have full faith that Cheyenne and I will land where we are meant to be. So you don't have to comment and say it's going to be okay. I have full faith in that. I just wanted to share that because that was on my mind, and I know a lot of us are still on the journey, or on the journey to the next one, or however we want to frame it. We're TTC, just because that was on my heart, and somebody might need to hear it. So I wanted to say that. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a busy day today. I need to get these off. They lasted 2 weeks. I'm surprised they did. Now they're kind of looking like chiclets. So I need to do that. I need to trim Justice's hair. Hopefully she will not snap at me. I almost feel like I need some chainmail gloves. Give Sugar Bear a bath and do his pictures. I want to do his half-year birthday pictures for sure. And then we might do the opening with us in our... I don't even know if we should change the opening, because a lot of you guys like the opening that's there. You guys have been complimenting, so thank you for that. I will say I do want to get a picture of all of us in the pajamas that I got. So whether that'll be in an opening or it'll just be a shot. Maybe, I don't know. Today is the 3rd. Oh, happy Vlogmas Day 4. If I do get it done today, I'm not going to pressure myself, but I'm just going to put this incentive out there for me mentally. If I do get it done today, I can probably still get Christmas cards made with all 4 of us in our little outfits, which would be cool. I also think I want to do family portraits. I'll put it this way. If Cheyenne and I are, seeing one another, I'll ask her, but I don't want to ask her and make her feel like guilted into doing it. You know what I mean? I don't want to play those kind of games. I don't know. I just feel like that's manipulative of like, oh, we're going to take a picture. I would love to see. You know what I'm saying? And she said she needs her space. So I just want to be respectful of her boundaries. Boundaries are to protect the person creating the boundaries. So I don't want to cross that line. maybe I can do them here. We'll see. I'll try them here. Otherwise, I don't know. Like back home, we have this thing called Olin Mills. I can't think of anything. Although I hate those portraits where they stamp the name of the place on there. Worst case scenario, I guess we could do JCPenney. I don't even know. Cheyenne and I had some done in LA, and there's definitely not an Olin Mill. And oh my God, I'm overthinking it all. Anyway, Grand Rising. I hope you're well. You guys will be seeing this on Monday, so I hope you have a great week. And yeah, let's get into our day. Let me find out they redid The Color Purple. I don't even know if I can watch it. Every time I watch The Color Purple, I cry. But if I watch this, I'm sure Taraji and all them are good. But if I watch this and they not coming through like Oprah and Whoopi, I'm gonna feel some type of way. If somebody has watched it, let me know. Let me know if it's good. Or let me know how it's compared to the first one, the original. I didn't open these little boxes last night, but I just wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna try this for my edges. It's fortifying. So it's got Jamaican black castor oil, flaxseed, shea butter, peppermint, and apple cider vinegar. All that's supposed to help with hair growth. So hopefully this will help my edges come back because I'm gonna be using this to make baby hair. For those of you who wanna know what glue I use for my press-ons, here it is. It's LA Colors. I'll link this all and I'll add it to my Amazon store. Well, it'll be added to my Amazon store by the time you guys see this, but this is what keeps the nails on for 2 weeks. Wood glue because a piece of a cabinet came off. I'll show you. This right here just came smooth off. It's like a faux front. I'm gonna use this wood glue to put it back on. I also got these. I don't know why they shipped it in a whole box. Come on, Amazon. But these are Arm & Hammer Munchkin. I have the Decor diaper pail, and for the most part, it keeps the scent in, but you gotta open and close it. So I'm hoping shake these, absorb. You know, I'm old school. Arm & Hammer come through. So we'll see if that works. Although we didn't have anything this fancy. When Cheyenne was little, we would have just put the Arm & Hammer in there, like how you put it in the fridge. Yes, girl. Fancy meeting you here. I have my coffee. I feel like chatting. I want to do a little chit chat. I just watched Arlette's video and I want to chat. So she was chatting in her. Sorry, I didn't connect those thoughts. But yeah. She's doing Vlogmas again this year. I'm super excited. So if you haven't checked her out, definitely. It's Arlette Hardy. I'll put a link in the description box below. I am not going to fight with these skims, honey, because I don't know what's going on. I just went through one of Cheyenne's baby albums. I was actually trying to find the Christmas picture that I was referring to earlier. I couldn't find it, but it was so sweet to see her again. As I'll insert some pictures and I'll insert an ultrasound so you can see how far they've come. baby. I don't even know why they printed those back in the day. I'm gonna give myself grace. And also, I want to say I am not inferring anything negative about my mom or, you know, being passive aggressive. I love my mom unconditionally. I'm clear with my boundaries, and I know who she is. I know what she went through, so it's all good. But there are some things, not just from her, but the entire family, right? All the siblings lost their mom at a young age, and so they were in survival mode. And sometimes when you're in survival mode, you don't have the luxury of exploring your feelings and to be mindful and thoughtful and intentional, right? So it is what it is. I am who I am. I wouldn't be me without all of them, so I'm not saying anything ill of them. But I definitely did go through some trauma, and I'm recognizing now when I have like a trauma response. So in that sense, I'm extremely grateful that I did YouTube, because I would get triggered by so much, and now I realize like those were all trauma responses. Okay, we're not gonna play with this. I just felt it. Those were all trauma responses. Like when someone would say whatever, and then I would feel defensive because it was triggering some past trauma. I mean, let me say it in a way that makes sense for you guys, that it'll make so. Not even on the internet. We'll just say the guy that I moved to New York with, I did not realize he was a freegan until we got to New York. Like, he talked about it a little bit. So let me back up. He was in San Francisco. I was in LA. He sold his house in San Francisco and moved into my place in LA, knowing we were coming to New York. One instance, one of many I'm sure, where I didn't put Cheyenne's needs first. So a freegan, in case you don't know, is like, they look for free stuff, meaning trash that's left out by restaurants. Yes, I said trash. You know, some of the stuff has an expiry date where it's like best if used by, but the food doesn't go bad. So the freegans will go through. My mom calls them dumpster divers. And I guess in a sense that's true. They will go through and like pick out fruit, you know, like they'll go to the back of Whole Foods, or it don't even have to be a Whole Foods. It could be a fair market or whatever it is. They're looking through things that other people have discarded, just looking for free stuff. Had I known that, I might have made different decisions, but I'm okay that I didn't. I'm glad I am where I am. I'm like Popeye. Oh no, that's I am what I am. Anyway, it got me to New York, right? But that is a trigger because I grew up without a lot of money, and so, or I should say the people around me, that is a trigger for me. The free stuff, the thrift stuff, the hand-me-down stuff triggers me, and I didn't realize it then. Now I realize it, and so I probably would not have as sharp of a response. I had a horrible experience with hand-me-downs. My older cousin, she's actually my second cousin, she's my mom's first cousin, I wore a lot of her. I'm the oldest of the first cousins, if that makes sense, but I wore a lot of her clothes, and she would taunt me and tease me and tell everyone about it. So I was always excited if I ever got anything new, which annoyed my mom, because whenever I got new shoes, I would be telling people. I don't remember telling people. I remember her retelling me that I annoyed her, because I was always like, I have new shoes, I have new shoes. Yeah, like if I would have known that. And then so we moved into an apartment together. We were not in that apartment together 60 days before I moved out, because I came out first. He stayed in my empty apartment in LA because we had all the furniture shipped out. He came out October 1st, the week before Thanksgiving. Cheyenne and I had moved out of that apartment. When I left, he found a futon. No, wait, I think he bought a futon. He did buy a futon because it was broken. I remember he was complaining about that to me. He found a couch either in the basement of that building or on the sidewalk, and pulled it right into his apartment and loved it like it was his own. And then he moved a roommate in, and I'm sure the roommate loved it like it was a couch in an apartment where he rented a room. That was a trigger for me. And then he was like here's the thing, here's the rub, which I didn't know at the time. We were in our 30s, mid to late. It was 2008. I'm born in 71. You can do the math. My brain is tired. And he said he was retiring. Now I know in order to retire, you need to have enough money in the bank for how many years you expect to live, and what each year you need to live. So I did this, I think, before. I might have done it on the other channel. If it's 200,000 and you expect to live 20 years, you need $2 million in the bank, right? So if you're retiring before 40, right, he would need, oh my God, whatever, another because I'm thinking 65 to 85 will be 20. So if he's starting at 38 to 85, 200,000 of each year, let's just say if that was what his base was, how much did he need to have in the bank, right? He didn't have that in the bank, which is why I know he's working, because I used to look on his LinkedIn, but I don't anymore. Healing. But yeah, so do you know what I mean? So of course his retirement figured in free stuff, which that is not the life that I imagined when I came to New York. I mean, you see where I'm living. It's technically a luxury condo. It has a washer, dryer, dishwasher, 2 terraces, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, elevator building, gym in the basement. You know, doesn't have a doorman, but we're up above 110th. I don't think a lot of places above 110th have doormen. But anyway, I mean, they might. I don't know, child. There's no doorman here, let me say that. Had I known that, I would have made different choices. You know what I mean? But I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know to ask. Now, if I were to partner with someone, these are some of the things that we would go through, which is why I'm always adamant about when you partner with someone, you're mixing your finances. And even if you intend to have like separate accounts, which we did, you're still commingling, because what you spend depends on what the other person spends, if that makes sense. And like, I remember, so we were there, I think Cheyenne was, no, I think she was 13. I think she had just turned 13. Well, then he decides he wants to split the internet 3 ways. We didn't have cable, and this was, we had a laptop and a DVD player, and this is when Netflix was still, I mean, they might, but they were mailing out DVDs. That was it back then. We would all do like a family movie together, but it wasn't like, well, I mean, I guess I could have rented a DVD on my own. Whatever. That's not the point. Cheyenne didn't have a computer. He wanted to split 3 ways the internet. And I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. She doesn't have a computer. Like, why would I be paying? So that means I would be paying 2/3. Let me clarify that, because obviously a 13-year-old doesn't have a job. Oh, you're talking to your friend? Maybe don't shoot his hand up. He has his little doll over there, the little boy doll. So I would be paying 2/3, and he would be paying 1/3. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it was like, had she had a computer, sure. Had she been home all day and had a computer, sure. But she was off at high school. She was a freshman. And so I was just like, that's why we didn't, I had to get the hell out of there, right? As part of the process, shipping my things, he paid for it out of pocket with the agreement that we would split it, but I would still owe him half, right? Because I didn't have, I think it was like $5,000. No, because I ended up owing him $5,000. I don't remember exactly the numbers, but I owed him because of that. Now, mind you, like, this is where my mom comes in, and she's like, well, are you charging him a service fee then for sitting on your couch, sleeping in your bed, using your dishes, like my mom goes there? That felt real to me, right? And so when I moved out, that was one of the things. Well, when I moved out, we were still kind of together, but not together. No, I know, we officially ended it February 14th of 2009. And mind you, the financial crisis is all going on. Like, I was in banking. Let me see. He's just talking. He's not crying. He's talking. Look who's here. Do-do-do-do. Hello. Oh, your friend loves you. Your friend loves you. I don't even know where I was. What was I saying? Something about this foolishness. Oh, the money. And so, yeah, so February 14th, we broke up because he spent the night. Mind you, I'm making him dinner. I'm the one, at that point, I don't have a job. Single mom out here in New York. He comes over to my spot. I'm making him, I made like salmon and pasta. And basically he said he didn't feel like we could move forward if I didn't have a job. And so I was thinking, now you're retired, so you're not going to have a job. Anyway, long story short, I was like, well, I guess this is it then, you know, like, see you later. It was great knowing you. Glad we moved to New York together. And I mean, it wasn't that cold. We talked for a little bit more, but then he cut off communication with me because I couldn't give him an exact date of when I would pay him back. Mind you, I still don't have a job yet, right? And I was at that point living off my 401k money. I was like, let me just get income coming in. And then once I get income, I can think about it. Then he wanted to like put this stuff in an email. Like clearly he was trying to do a paper trail in case he needed to take me to court because he was serious about this $5,000. Well, of course he is. He's eating out of trash bags. So that was never going to work, just because of my own triggers and just because of my own needs, whether they're perceived or real. They're the needs that I feel that I have. I knew eventually I wanted to live in Manhattan. I knew eventually, because we were in Queens, I think I said that. I knew eventually that I would make the money that I needed to make to live the life that I wanted to live. And lo and behold, here I am with a job I've been on for 13 years, living in the city, having babies, and all that fun stuff. Although babies were not on the, we had talked about having kids. We talked about having it be bringing a child into the world, the greatest creation. We're both artists, and so we had talked about that. But then I think I just kind of stuffed it down after everything that happened. There was no way for me to, I didn't know about single moms by choice. You know, there was just a lot of stuff going on, child. But so those kind of things triggered me. So in the healing process, I'm getting to a point, I promise. In the healing process, in my healing process, I'm recognizing and healing that trauma so that I'm not triggered by something, so that I don't come across angry or sad or defensive. I can just plainly state, that's a no for me. Right? Like I will know myself well enough to just say no and not try to like maneuver it in my mind or try to negotiate with somebody, because if that's fundamentally who he is, right, that's fundamentally who he is. And if this is who I am, I just feel happy, and I feel happier each day. I had therapy on Thursday, which it was the day before. I didn't put it in Vlogmas, but I had therapy there, and I, talking about the past trauma and recognizing why it was traumatic, because sometimes, I'm not saying I have complex PTSD. I haven't been diagnosed. I haven't asked to be diagnosed. But sometimes when you have a lot of childhood trauma, it is your complex PTSD versus just PTSD. You don't realize like those things have impacted you. You just know that you don't like them, even if it's a subconscious level, which is when you get triggered, right? Which is, I also realize like I get triggered when people say very negative things, even though they don't realize that it's negative. So I have to give myself grace and give that person grace. And when they say these things, just let it go or redirect them. Probably the better thing, redirect them. For example, if someone is like, you should do blah, blah, blah with your child. That is a negative statement in the sense that I didn't ask you. And if I'm doing something else, that's a judgment on what I'm currently doing, and somehow you know better. Also, when people say, I never heard of that, that is a trigger for me. That is a pet peeve of mine. As a child, I felt like my feelings were not validated. And so if I'm, the whole, I'll give you something to cry about. So when you're like, I never heard of that, it's basically telling me you don't believe me. You don't think what I'm telling you is right, which is fine, but then just say that out loud. I mean, thank God we have Google, because if anybody knows me, I will go to Google in a minute. I don't need to defend my intelligence anymore. I don't need to defend my emotions anymore. My emotions are valid. The knowledge I have is the knowledge I have. That can't be taken away from me, and it can't be diminished. But most of the time, the person saying it feels small, and so they're trying to make themselves feel bigger. So instead of me reacting to that, I just need to give them grace. Like, they will figure it out, right? None of their thoughts about me can change who I am, take away from who I am. I mean, they could have thoughts that I could take into consideration and decide whether I want to change. That's not what I mean. But I'm saying, just because if someone were to say I'm dumb or you don't know what you're talking about, it doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it true. They're just saying words. And so that's what I'm working on, recognizing that I'm triggered by things, taking a step back and asking, like, why is that bothering me? You know what I mean? Why am I giving that person so much importance, so much value in my day-to-day life? Like, is it really valuable or important? Where are you going, honey? You just want to see things? You want to go over here with your friend? Let's see. You want to stand up and lean on the couch? Oh, you see the little cactus? It's growing nicely, right? You see that? It's growing, the little plant. Okay, hold on. There you go. You see that? What's that? Can you reach it? Ooh. 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 Yes, you can. I didn't know it was that top heavy. This plant has grown so much. That's a cactus, a succulent. Do you like that? The other ones are not doing so well. Maybe we'll plant some and then you can play in the dirt. He has his 6-month checkup tomorrow, so I will probably vlog that. But I'm going to close out this vlog. I just wanted to chat with you guys. I still have stuff to do around the house, and I will vlog that, but it's not going to be in this vlog, child. I just wanted to chat with you all. You're going to get lots of shots tomorrow. Shots. Yes, you are. Mommy's going to hold your hand. Yes, she is. Do you think you can blow kisses to the ladies? To your internet aunties? Can you blow kisses? Baby does to us all.
Making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey.